you know.
Yeah. All right, everybody. Welcome to Galactic Gumbo episode number 54. The all geek, all nerd podcast. They used to have a full crew. Now you just have us two because the other ones like to play with other stuff on Friday nights, I guess.
It's fine, man. I think just we renamed the show to the Tweedledee and Tweedledum cast. I'm Tweedledee because my first name starts with a D.
We can go Tweedledum and Tweedledummer.
Okay, I'll accept that.
I got three things to talk about tonight. One is going to be for people who don't know, we talk about Pete Robocon like the Bible almost, and Pete has finally announced his show for next year, so we'll talk about that. Yeah, well, so we'll talk about that and go over the hotel, which was actually the final BotCon hotel in 2016, and then we will talk about Action Force just for a quick minute, give you an update where they're at. And then we'll talk about a topic that me and you've talked on the phone about, and you won't be there for it, but we'll talk about it here. And that's what is considered a grail. What's a real grail? What do people consider a grail? And the people who are saying that an MP44 is their grail, I mean, do they just need to be completely bitch smacked or what?
Oh man, I wouldn't be that harsh about it. Like, I understand, like, something that's expensive, like, you have to like work a little harder for it. You got to put in a little more time, a little more of your paycheck, goes to it, stuff like that. Whenever you look at it like that, but like, I mean, if we're just gonna like dive straight on into it, no, man, like nothing that's mass produced or like available readily is a grail. Like, I'm sorry if I'm going to hurt anyone's feelings with. Actually, I'm not sorry if I'm going to hurt anyone's feelings with that. Like,
I wouldn't be sorry. I mean, I agree totally with you on that one. I mean, brand new out of the case, fresh box. Oh my God, it's my grail! I found my grail. I got what I wanted. Yeah, go back in his basement.
Yeah, real talk. Yeah, like it really isn't. It really isn't a grail. Like when I think of grail, like I don't even think of something like subjective, right? Like, I've got quite a few one of a kind things, or maybe not necessarily one of a kind, but super just you're not gonna get it. You know what I mean? Like, type of stuff.
Right.
And I don't even consider those grails because to me, like, they don't fall under a certain criteria. Like, I don't think a prototype should be a grail, like, despite like those are some of my, favorite pieces, and like I'm extremely happy with them. I wouldn't be like, yeah, this is the grail. You know what I mean? Like, to me, a grail is something that either made it through like machine painted, you know what I mean? Like almost to production. Like, when I think grail, I think G2 Stunticons. While yes, they're still technically prototypes. They're fully painted. 4 of them, the limbs, they all came on cards. I think the Motormaster rather was the only one that didn't. And like, even then, like, not all those Motormasters had the robot helmets, or the combined mode helmets rather. And not all of them like had even like the stickers of the weapons, like that's a grail. Despite it being, yes, it's pre-production, it's still a grail. But something like a random color test shot, like that, to me, that's not a grail. Or even a resin hard copy, like that, to me, is not a grail. Like, it's really weird. Like, I've always wanted to, for some of the guys that are like deeper into this than I am, like, I've really wanted their collective minds to come together and like lay out objectively like what the criteria honestly should be, like, because that word's thrown around, so it's so, like, I don't want to say sullied, but it's watered down. It's not like, it just doesn't mean what it used to mean. because of a lot of this, like, I walked into Target and I found Studio Series Jazz. That's my grail. Found my grail this month, just knocking these grails out, taking grails like Tic Tacs. You know what I mean? Like, I think that's just something like, I mean, it is extremely pretentious and nerdy just to be like, oh, well, a grail should be this, a grail should be that. But, truth be told, like, it's a thing. Like, don't water it down. Another example, and some folks would probably say I would be biased because they were my grails and I own them. But the Green Ramulus and the Blue Optimus Minor, those are, they made it to the carded stage, fully painted, meant to be produced. They were technically Hasbro employee store exclusives. As far as I've been told, that's what they were. Now, whether or not that changes as, maybe an employee that remembers from the time, that's something else. But they were still technically a store exclusive, and therefore, like, I'd consider them a grail. And like as expensive as the 2006 BotCon Megatron is, I would not consider that a grail. Like, in the last year, I've seen like 2 or 3, and like I feel like if it's just that easy to get, regardless of how crazy expensive, like one listing went for like 3,000, one listing went for like 2,000. There's one I think up for like $1,300 right now or something like that.
That's what it was. Last time I looked, I can look real quick, but
and he may have dropped it down, or he may have gone up. Who knows?
He actually dropped it down 100 last time.
Yeah,
it was on there.
But like I still like I don't because I mean it's right there. Just because I mean it's expensive, yes, but it's still super readily available. Like grails don't sit on eBay. For
he relisted it and dropped it $50 more, so it's down to $13.50 basically is where it's at.
Right. So
for some reason, I want to say there was something. There was something missing off of this one.
I think it was missing the bio card, the paperwork, if I'm not mistaken. And I could be wrong.
Has all of accessories, but the paperwork and instructions are not included.
Yeah.
So basically it's everything but the bio card instructions.
Yeah, I'll be honest, dude. Like I have turned away BotCon toys that I like am actively like sweating hunting for, because they didn't have paperwork, and like I've paid like silly money just for a bio card. Like I bought a bio card for $50 for the '96 Onyx Primal because the one that I got years ago didn't come with one, and I did the same thing for the BotCon 2006 Laserbeak, paid $50 for that one. I also paid $50 for the BotCon 2006 certificate. Despite like those toys never having been knocked off, I still wanted that certificate. It's just a little piece of paper. It's a silly piece of paper in a folder, but I wanted it. But that paperwork, that means a lot. I don't think a lot of people get that. But like back to the Grail talk, man. It I feel like something like I've heard Unicron like in it's in different friends groups saying like Unicron's going to be like that Grail item. It's going to be the Transformers Grail. Blah 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 blah. Like there's 13,000 of them out there. No, it's not. Granted, there could be 13,000 Green Ramuluses out there, although I doubt it. They could be sitting in a landfill somewhere. You know what I mean? But like as far as like everyone knows, with estimated production numbers, nothing produced in that high numbers. And like that Megatron, there were only like 400 or 500 of those made, but like still in the last year, three of them. I don't constitute that as a grail. It's an expensive collector item for sure, but it's not a grail. So that's more or less like my views on it. Like my like nuts and bolts. Like if there was more than one available at any given time in the like say the last 12 to 24 months, if it was mass produced, I really shouldn't say if it was mass produced. I don't think, because like I look at some of the stuff like the Japanese Transformers G1 stuff, like Blue Bacchus, and finding a pristine Minerva, and like that's another thing, man. For vintage stuff, like that condition makes a world of difference. If you found a boxed mint, Grand Maximus compared to one that's got cat piss stains all over it, like that, it can be complete. That Grand Max can be complete. If that Grand Max smells like cat piss and has yellowing and this and that and the other, like that's not a Grail. That's just a hunk of junk. It's the one that
it would be a mint box. It had to be a like mint, not sealed box, a mint box. I mean,
good condition,
bone white stuff of that nature to be
right.
It's kind of like when we talked on the phone, kind of like Rick had mentioned the Defiant, older '80s toys. I can see that being hard to get at a very reasonable price and complete, regardless if it's been reissued or not. Take, for example, Fort Max. I mean, I was wanting a Fort Max out the wazoo. And once they talked about when the Encore was coming, I was like, I'm done, not looking for it. I'll get the reissue when it comes out. That stopped me from buying an original one because, that killed everybody.
It's funny, dude. It's funny how Encore will murder a Grail status. Blue Big Convoy is a great example. That Lucky Draw Blue Big Convoy, like Lucky Draws are kind of like in their own, like I would consider a lot of Lucky Draws, at least the ones that are super limited, to be considered like Grails because there's just not many of them and they don't pop up very often. On top of that, they're incredibly expensive. But the Blue Big Convoy was one of those. Like after the Encore got announced, a dude I know was trying to unload his for like $3,000 or $4,000, and like we all just laughed at him, like, dude, you're not gonna get that with this Encore coming out. Like, I even got to the point where I told him, like, dude, I'll give you $500 for it, just because it was the original or whatever. Like, he ain't moving it, But like, on the on the same side of that coin, like the Galva Lyle Convoy Lucky Draw, like that's a Grail, dude. Like I think there's like 5 of those or something like that, 5 or 15, something like some crazy low number, and like no one's getting rid of them. But yeah, man, like Takara has pretty much been shown, Hasbro too, that like they like it's nothing sacred anymore. Right, like the Japanese cassettes that just got reissued, the Dino cassettes. Like I think in the last year or two, they've done all of those, and like those were considered. I don't know if they were necessarily considered Grails. I wouldn't know what a G1 Grail would be because it's not really my era. But like I know that if Hasbro were to, for whatever reason, like in the 35th anniversary, and to be fair, I'm a proponent of them doing it. I'm a proponent of them reissuing Green Ramulus for that anniversary. Just because of the everything around it. Like, I would prefer at that point it's in like a different box, or something discernible, because like I would at least always know like I had an original despite the value plummeting. It's more or less just a now I know sort of thing. Even if they didn't like use chrome or whatever, like I still think the value would plummet. Like, because the Blue Big Convoy wasn't 1-for-1 either. It used the Encore opaque plastic in the arm instead of the translucent. A couple of different paint apps too, but yeah, dude, like it's interesting. Like the Green Unicron was another one. That was another lucky draw, and whenever Takara put out that Encore Green Unicron. Poof, there it goes. It
ain't actually moving all that great on BBTS. It's a discounted price just to try to move it. Period.
I'm sure it's still up on Amazon Japan too, for what it's worth. Those didn't do too hot. Like I think it was too early for a Unicron release like that, and especially considering like what that lucky draw is. I think that maybe that wasn't really the lucky draw to try to pump out. Like, I don't even know if the Encore totally off topic. The Encore Beast Machines Primal. I don't even know if it's heavily discounted still on Japanese sites. Because if it is, like, I've thought about just picking it up. Just to like, despite passing on it, the big one, the stupid big one.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I almost pulled the trigger on that.
What was it, $50?
Pretty much, 50, 60 bucks. I mean, just what the exchange rate was on Amazon Japan, I was thinking really hard about it.
And like, and it was MSRP'd at like what, 100 and something, 120, whatever.
US
150.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I kind of regret not getting it, but I have the red and blue one. That what was that, the Year of the Monkey or the
Year of the Monkey? Yeah. See, I got rid of my Year of the Monkey one. I just
you rid of it finally?
Yeah, I can't remember how I got rid of it, but I do remember that I got rid of it. It just wasn't doing it for me, like. And granted, I already had the Primal Prime, the original Primal Prime. Like, I was thinking, well, maybe this will be another Primal Prime. It just didn't. It didn't hit me. Like, I was just like, whatever. I could live without it. Yeah. But maybe I wouldn't mind just to get that Beast Machines, because like, even though it's far away from being a masterpiece, like, I think I would stick it up there with my masterpiece stuff. Stick it up there with the Convoys and things like that.
The size comparison, it does. It would be a bot to put with masterpiece.
Yeah, I know it's big. I think it'd maybe be a little bit too big, but it probably wouldn't matter much.
It might be right up there with your Red Dragon, right?
No, this is not that big. It's been so long since I had it.
It's up there, but it might. I mean, it's smaller than Red Dragon, but I mean,
yeah,
I know. He can ride the Red Dragon. He can ride the Red Dragon.
Can't we all ride the Red Dragon?
Ride the Red Dragon.
So like that's. But I feel like that's another topic, like, for another day. Is just how long until that bubble bursts entirely, from the Takara reissuing and to Hasbro reissuing stuff. Like, I feel like the status of a Grail, like, is something that can be revoked, and the way I understood it, talking to Hasbro reps at previous BotCons, is they liked the idea of keeping certain things, to be considered like, a highly sought after collectible. Like, they liked the status of some of those things that, either they or Takara had put out. Like, they liked keeping things that way. But man, the hats have changed since those creative teams and kind of what they believed on all that. So we're dealing with this new blood that maybe not feel, maybe they don't feel that way. Maybe they're like, what, let's just do this and this, and we'll capitalize on it as a company, and hopefully we won't make a mistake by doing it, and blah blah blah. So
probably most of those guys are thinking like the Unicron trilogies are their grails.
For like the ones that are like getting like mass retail stuff.
Yeah, the millennials.
I'm a millennial. I grew up with Beast Wars.
No, I'm talking like Dalton millennial.
Like back end millennial. like the we'll group you in with the what were they? The Gen Zs.
Gen X's, is that what they were?
No, Gen X was before millennial. Yeah, I think you're a Gen X.
Although
I think that's
not.
what you are.
I'm an 80s
when were you born?
78.
Yeah, so you're a Gen Xer.
Am I?
You should be.
I guess.
I'm pretty sure. I don't know. Is there anybody in the comments, like, tell us what the years for a Gen Xer? But I'm pretty sure, like, you're not a boomer, right? Like,
I don't think I'm a baby boomer.
No, you're not. My mom, she's 60. She was born in 54. She's a boomer.
Let's see. Let me Google it real quick.
Yeah, you're definitely, while you're doing that. Yeah, man, like, I don't think anything's ever going to necessarily definitively be a grail. Like, not forever. Some things, yes. Like, and there's some things like, that what make a Grail isn't like the toy itself, but rather the way it was presented. Like a great example is the Takara VSX set is considered a Grail by a lot of people because it was kind of like a random holiday release in Japan, and not a whole lot of folks either got it or found it or knew about it. And all it does is just a Japanese convoy and a Japanese Megatron, and I think it's the Megatron with the blue on the legs, right, instead of the red. And it's just in a special Versus box, just a gift set, and that's just a high dollar. You don't often find the gift set with the inserts, and like that's another thing, like just the way things are packed. Like those inserts are worth a lot of money too.
Yeah,
if someone's missing a chunk of insert, then like they're willing to go out there and spend hundreds of dollars because they want it 100%. So,
Gen X years are 1961 to 1981.
Yep. So you're Gen X.
Yep.
That's so 82 was the start of millennial.
No, according to this, a millennial was 81 to 96.
81 to 96. Okay.
Baby boomers was 46 to 64. So the boomers crossed over with the Gen X's apparently.
I thought the Gen X's were 65 to 80.
What came after millennials?
Gen Z.
Isn't that the we don't know what we are?
Yeah, that's the I'm allergic to peanuts and shit. That's that group. Your daughter.
Yep.
Gracie, she's a
yeah, she is. 97 to 2012. Both my kids.
Yep. Man, Dalton barely skirted by. Like, he really is riding on those millennial coattails.
So he was born in 96?
I'm pretty sure he was born in 96. I don't know how old he is, but I'm almost positive he was born in 96. So, whatever, man. My generation is known for their love of avocados, vape juices, and ass eating.
Vape juices with ass eating.
Vape juice, ass flavored vape juices made from avocado oil. Like that sums up my generation, like in a sentence, like in a descriptive.
All right, we're gonna knock this one out real quick. For people who know, we talked about Bobby's.
What do you feel about like what a Grail is?
Oh, I was kind of on top of it earlier. I was thinking more of the 80s stuff. Stuff that is hard to find, very hard to find, and can be found, but depending on what kind of price you want to pay. I mean, like you said, if a Brave Max had cat piss stains on it and smelled like cat piss, it's not a Grail, it's a hunk of junk.
Right.
Now I'll disagree with you on the Megatron. I would consider that a Grail. Me personally.
Which Megatron?
06.
Oh, you said you would consider it a Grail?
I would consider it a Grail, yes, because that's something that is like super high on top of my one. I mean, it's like my number one item to get back for the third time. Right,
but see, that's the thing though. Like that just makes it more or less like a collecting goal. Like I'm gonna argue this with you. Like that's because that's what that is. It's just a collecting goal. Like it's not a Grail. Like I'm not trying to diminish your want for it, because don't get me wrong, that's another figure, man, that like whenever I'm just kind of like looking at my displays, like that's one that I admire, right? Like I look at that thing and I'm like, man, you're never going anywhere. You know what I mean?
Right. I've said that a couple times about some stuff, but it had to go.
I've said it twice so far, and it went once, and it ain't going again. Everything on that other wall goes before anything on this wall. You know what I mean?
Right.
So.
Yes, I mean, it would have to be like I said earlier. like Fort Max was on my Grail list, and it, once they said the reissue, bam, went to the reissue. Was going to get a Defiant back at the last JoeCon, and some stuff fell through, and I wasn't able to get it. But that was one of my, Grail pieces, and finding a good one, mind you. I mean, because there's a lot of issues with the Defiant. There's a lot of issues with the flag, warping.
Warping and shattering broken. Plastic. And see, that's where, like, you really do kind of have to group some of this stuff, because, like, more or less, like, everything after the 80s that would really be considered a Grail is more or less like the figure itself, where, those 80s pieces, it's like not just the, like, you need all the pieces. Like, the pieces are really what's considered the Grail. The pieces and the condition. It's not necessarily the item per se. I mean, it is the item to a degree, but, like, you could find one that's shattered and broken and whatever, missing a bunch of pieces, and it's not going to cost you much just to get it in that condition. But it really is like condition and all that, I think, is involved.
Yeah,
which is interesting.
Yeah, would you think a pop would be considered a Grail? A certain pop?
I think that within reason. I mean, as long as it fits the criteria, right? Like, I think that we should move past specifics, but utilize criteria from those specifics to, like, constitute what should fall under that category. Like, I think if it's something that has not been readily available in more than one instance in the last 12 to 24 months, like, I think you're really teetering on, like, yeah, this is probably a Grail. Like, I think that's just one of those criterias, though. Like, I think, other criteria should really fall into, like, well, how many were made? Where there are 100,000 made, and it's just 100,000 people that don't want to let theirs go, then, like, I wouldn't really consider that a Grail. I wouldn't consider anything that's, produced in units over 5,000. I wouldn't consider that necessarily a Grail unless it's just like a 30 to 40-year-old toy, which, again, like, there's so many layers to it. But I think if there was a pop out there, and pops have only been around for, what, a decade?
Yeah, there are some that are, like, worth $4,000 or $5,000, and that's because of how crazy low the numbers were on them.
Yeah, I was gonna say, and that's all well and good. Like, again, prime example, that Megatron, like, it's got some of the telltale. Like, I feel like if that Megatron was only available, like, once every 3 to 5 years, you could probably put it in that lower tier Grail category. But if these, like, $4,000 and $5,000 pops, if there's one or two of them at a time on eBay, or you can find one, or you find three on separate occasions throughout the last year, I wouldn't call it a Grail. I would just call it a very expensive late tax.
Gotcha. Okay.
So, but I mean, like, I don't think anything should be exempt by any means. Like, no matter what it is, like, if it's a Betty Spaghetti, you know what I mean? Like, okay, this crazy Betty Spaghetti Grail.
This is true. So,
we looking at some Action Force? Let's talk about some Action Force.
Yeah, we'll go ahead and dip in that just for a few minutes, not very long, since we talked about it last week. Bobby's Kickstarter went live. It's been up for a week, and he is at 70% funded, which is really surprising because I don't even think he got 70% the last time.
Damn, good deal. And so, he's got, how many days has he got left? 23. Wow, that's incredible.
He's just a little under $30,000 to be funded. Now, the last time, his most backers he got for the last one was like 400 and something, I think. I want to say for some reason it was 420. Crazy number, mind you.
Right.
But he's at 397
every day.
He's
at what?
he says when what was it he was going to do? He added an extra something. It was one of those unlocked goals. He added another one and said if once they hit 420, he'll unlock one of the other like he added another trooper to it.
So once they have 420 backers, or once they get to 420,000?
No, 420 backers.
Oh, that's awesome.
So he'll add another one. You can add on another figure or whatever for that amount.
Okay.
And then, so yeah, I mean, now I know just a little while ago, just a couple hours ago, actually, there was a discussion on his Facebook page, and another guy I know who watches the show pretty regularly, he had said something along the lines, his exact words was I'm going to fund Bobby's Kickstarter, but I'm going to do it the Mike Tennell way. Is exactly how he said it. I'm going to wait till the end. Oh no, you just threw me under the bus.
Yeah, man. Like, I want to show my support with my wallet. I just don't want to get any 6-inch shit that I don't want to get cool stuff in a scale I could give a shit less about. Like, that's just like I want to, like, I want, I want this to be something that that succeeds, that, kind of becomes the future of, right. But
right.
my opinion on that, like with action figures, you should offer them. I think there's 2 scales. There's 1/12 and 1/18. All this 1/6 and 1/10 and all that weird NECA Hot Toys old 1920s GI Joe bullshit. Get like that, all that shit's nonsense. 12 inches nonsense and 10 inches nonsense. But 6-inch and 3 3/4 inch makes a world of sense. Like, I feel like I don't know, and I get it. He's his own small independent dude. He can't go out and have molds created for both scales of the same thing, because then it throws a wrench in things.
Right.
I would love to challenge him that once he hits his main goal for these 3 or 4. I would love to challenge him to have one of his stretch goals be, okay, at this amount, like basically the amount to pay for the tooling in 3 3/4 inch for those same figures.
Yeah.
I would love to see him put that up, because I mean, he's got, I'm sure he does them all in 3D, CAD files and whatever. So he could just downscale everything to 1/18 if he needed to. But I would be super interested. Like, once his 6-inch stuff, his dream stuff gets funded, which it looks like it's very close, right? I would love for that. Okay, here's all of these. You can get them in 1/18 now. Like, whenever we get to this amount, I would be insanely interested. And like, at that point, I would back it. I'd get every one of them. I'd get every one of those things that he put that he's got.
Right.
So
yeah, I'm still on the same page, and what I was going to go at is there's only 4 figures of it I really want, and I'll wait. And me personally, I'm just going to wait till the bitter end. I mean, if it gets close, let's say the next 23 days is slow as dirt. Let's say, God forbid, it is, and let's say he's like let's say 2,000-3,000 away from hitting his goal. Then
right.
I would go and pick, okay, I want 3, or there's 4 of the figures I want, but if it only barely makes it, then there's technically 2 I want. Then I'll go ahead and do the 2 and get the 2 I want.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think he's going to have a problem. Now, for some reason, it's crazy how you switch a few things, recolor a few things, misname a few things. Like, we named that one Connor. Everybody's running with that shit now. They're calling
Everyone's calling it Connor. Man, it wasn't intentional, Bobby. Mike just can't read.
He don't know how I keep up that way. He just did. But anyhow. But all right, so we will switch over to our meat of discussion.
Oh, The old meat and taters, huh?
Meat and taters.
Drum roll.
So as we talked about earlier, Pete has announced RoboCon 2020 for June 5th and 6th. It worked out really well. It's the weekend after my show. So
oh my God, that might not work out great for me, man.
I don't want to hear that. Don't tell me that,
dude. If it's the weekend after, like, oh man,
it's the very next weekend.
Oh crap!
You might just have to drive up for one day.
Do what?
You might have to drive up for one day.
Yeah, maybe. Well,
Yeah.
I didn't know. Oh, dude.
Yeah, because mine's May 29th. 29th, 30th. I mean, or May 30th, 31st. I mean, literally, it's the last weekend in May.
Yeah. Jesus, dude. So I'm going to be like, I have to make a trip up to Little Rock and come back. And then 5 days later, make another trip. Or not even 5, like 3 days later, would be making another. Oh.
Now that you mentioned it, now I think about it, because Robbie committed to do the show. I wonder if Pete's getting him to come up for that one.
I don't know. I'm curious, man. Like, and in which Pete's got he's got a lot of time to, I think, lock in some of those details. But I'm glad that we now have the dates. You and I have known about the location for like a year now.
We knew during the show, he had talked to Topic. He talked to both of us individually, and he had said something along the lines of it. So it was going to happen. It was going to change. When he told me the city, the first words out of my mouth was the hotel that he's going to.
Right. Yeah, I think you and I were both on that same page, because I know without a doubt, whenever I heard Louisville, I was like, dude, you gotta take it back to the Galt. Like, there may be some other kick-ass hotels in that area, but the Galt really is it's just such an incredible hotel.
Oh yeah, it is. I mean, it's a great hotel, and we'll look at those pictures in a minute. But featured brands is Transformers, Power Ranger, GoBox, Mask, Robotech, Exo Squad, Zoids, Voltron, Gundam, and what is that, Macross?
The picture's so small. I can't see.
It's below GoBot, underneath GoBots.
Maybe. It doesn't matter. If it's a robot action figure, toy, whatever, expect to see it. You know what I mean?
Right. And so hopefully this will bring out some people who haven't been there in the last couple of years, or maybe bring out some people, new to it in the different location. Hopefully he gets the big push that he's hoping for by moving it there.
Yeah, and like I think a lot of the issue with the last year was just location stagnation, bars. Like, don't get me wrong, the first year it was in Covington. It was a sweet little hotel spot. It wasn't great, but it was still a pretty decent little spot. But man, like, taking it back to the Galt House, like. The Galt House was just such a fantastic hotel, man. Like, I really, really did like that hotel a lot. Like a buddy of mine, I posted it in a couple of groups. He was just like, "Oh, dude, like it's there. I want to go back to the hotel so bad." Like, so I think. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, I want to go be strictly for the hotel.
I mean almost, yeah. Like,
the hotel was awesome. The setup they had for BotCon the final year was a pretty decent sized room, which I'm sure he's not going to get that big, massive room.
That's the thing, man. Like, he might get that whole, like, I think what he won't get would be the across the way, like, room for the panels.
Well, was it the panels or the artists? I felt the artists were across the hall.
No. Well, okay. So, like, there was in the one tower, the one that we all stayed in, there was the club store, and then like some of the artist alley was in the club store with the Hasbro displays, and then across the little walkway there, or not a walkway, it was more or less just literally right across, the hall was the big dealer room, and were autographs, and well, that was the second. Like they had autographs in the main room, in the club store room, and they also had autographs in the dealer room. But then you had like the rest of the artists and all the dealers in that other room. But I really liked the layout there. But it was the panels that you had to walk across the walkway into the other tower to go do that.
Okay, I remember that now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not about all that walk.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, I don't think, like, I kind of hope he doesn't get the one across the way, just because, like, I don't really feel like there's a need for that necessarily. I think, keep it keep it contained to that spot, in that was in the tower that we all stayed in.
Right.
And then, like, you got 4th Street Live, and Dalton was telling me that there was a steak restaurant, like, right down the street from the hotel. Like, him and Barrett and Hex went there, I guess, like, while the rest of us were doing golden ticket stuff. But Dalton said it was really good, and I was like, I mean, I'm down to try that. I know, like, that's why I'm wanting to get in a day early. I'm wanting to get in on Thursday.
Right.
Like we literally, like, drive in. Like, I would get you Wednesday afternoon at some point, evening, probably, and then just start heading up, like, basically.
So everyone who's wanting to get information or follow, you can follow Pete's RoboCon on Facebook. Underneath Pete's RoboCon, you can go to petesrobocon.com. And then, of course, they're listed as Night Shining Inc. on Twitter, and are they on Instagram? They're not on Instagram.
Yeah, I think it's Night Shining on Instagram as well. They are on Instagram.
Okay. So this here gives you the announcement earlier today that they'll be in Louisville, Kentucky on their website. And then, of course, they'll be listing hotel block and other pre-register, fees to get in, and custom class stuff of that nature. They did say that, like, Saturday's like $10. So here's hoping that the pre-register is still around.
Really?
Really?
So you're looking at you're looking online on their website?
Yeah, where did I see that at? Yeah, I read here just a little bit ago before we went on.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I didn't know that. Like, I mean, I'm definitely gonna pre-register. I like getting the badge and the shirt and the pin and, like, all that other cool stuff. I love doing the custom class, so I'm gonna register for the custom class.
Yeah, it was somewhere I read on here or somewhere they talked about the age group and everything. I want to find it. I want to find it.
Where it's like kids under a certain age get in free type stuff.
Yeah, adults and teens are $10. 12 and under are free.
Yeah, so same basic thing as like last year, more or less.
Yeah.
So that works.
So now the Galt, is that how we pronounce it? The Galt.
Galt, that's how I pronounce it.
Okay, we don't know how it's pronounced. It's a beautiful hotel. It's a huge hotel. All kinds of big spaces throughout the whole place. But this here is a king-size bed room, and it has, you can see over here, it has the couch by the window.
Right.
So,
that one,
sure
I think is the one that was in the other tower, like the style of rooms that were in the other tower. Because, like, the rooms we stayed in had the 2 queens and the pull out, and very spacious.
See, because I don't recall ours looking like this.
No.
These might be some of the renovated rooms they were telling me about. I'm not for sure.
Maybe.
Because, well, you see here, there's the hallway of the 2 doors are. The door to the left, I think, is one of those double rooms, and then the door straight ahead is the door to get out of the whole place. So I think that's this isn't, a suite like we had talked about.
Yeah, maybe.
This here is what.
Okay.
This is what we had.
If that's
right?
in the same hotel room, because like this was a room that was separate from like that walkway.
Exactly. Right.
Yeah, because it was a room with the two big beds, and then you had the walkway that had like the pull out and the table and all that other stuff.
Now here's the like the area now, like the couches they used to have were like a little older pull outs, but they said these are pull outs as well. So there's
they're sectional with the pull out.
My understanding.
Oh, good.
There's the cabinets and the big mirror. Had the then there's the door that goes to the hallway to the bathroom into the other room.
You can fit more of your homies inside the room.
Exactly. Or homies
which is what we did. Which is like I think in our room, let's see, we had 1, 2, 3, 4. There were 5 of us that stayed there.
Oh hell! Don't give me a line. There was 1, 2, 3, 4.
Oh my god! 6. I know how y'all's.
We had like 7 or 8 sweaty bastards in our room.
I was gonna say I know exactly how y'all. And on top of a parts party in your room.
Yeah. Jim and that one girl that was rooming with him that would come to help him out. They slept on the pull out, and me and Sean and Jim's nephew and his girlfriend and someone else. I think we had 2 couples in our room that slept on the floor on blow-ups. And then me and Sean had the beds. I mean, yeah, we were piled in there like sardines in a can, man. I mean, we were making that room as cheap as possible.
Y'all are too wild.
But you got to have extra. You got to do stuff like that. But if you get a room like this, just imagine the parts party you could set up in there. It'd be fun.
Well, that's hang on, go back to that last picture. What is this the presidential?
No. This is the room that we had before.
Oh, no kidding. Because I was gonna say, like, the rooms we had before, like those were the rooms that like we had, well, I say you guys and then Brett's room had the parts parties in. Our room.
You had the same size, didn't you? Or was yours smaller?
No. Ours was the same because we were on the same floor and it was the same size. It's just
you were on the other side of the way from us.
No, I was on the other side of the elevator from you.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah.
We were literally on the same side. It was just I think it was the rooms across from us were the small rooms, and then we were in the suites. But it really was just such a great hotel, and like I don't know if they have pictures of their bar.
They get to that, but they're remodeling the restaurant and bar as well. But
I never even saw or ate at the restaurant. I just remember the bar and the aquarium.
This here, you can see the carpets were redone. This is new cast chair, new paint. So they've changed it up in some of these rooms. So I remember seeing, because that's where the sink's at and in the mirror and you can see someone already has their bourbon right there already.
Yeah.
I wonder if that comes standard with every room now.
It should. Given your proximity to old Jim Beam, Now
they have. Now I can't remember what the showers looked like, but I always liked me a big old glass shower.
I'm pretty sure it was a big glass shower. Almost positive.
There's a hush. So here is, I don't know exactly what this is. This is the restaurant, the bar, or what? This here is something.
I think that was like the little spot down in the lobby. The bar I was talking about was the bar that was in the walkway, that like walk area, going from tower to tower.
Yeah, there's a picture of that. Let me find it here in a minute. Now, I think this picture is either. I think that's the spot.
No, that I'm pretty sure is the spot. The one we're looking at now. I'm pretty sure that's the spot where the meetup went down. Your boys' meetup.
Oh,
And
you mean Josh's boy?
yeah, I thought you were about to say the name, and I was like, it's $20. But I'm pretty sure I'm like this. It reminds me of because I remember those chairs, kind of, sort of.
Well, I think they redid it. I think this is what they redid. Was this part here as well?
Maybe, definitely, maybe.
See, because I don't remember some of this stuff. I mean, like the lady told me on the phone, that they're redoing everything, and she said by June of next year it'll all be completely redone.
Bro, I loved this hotel, man. Like this was during the years that I went, the best hotel.
No,
I liked Dallas. I liked 2012. I really liked that hotel, but this one was I think, man, like it just couldn't be topped.
Now here's some more pictures that they have. Now man, I'm trying to remember what my bed looked like. I can't remember if it had wood thing like this or not.
I don't know, man. I just remember the sheets was white. You know what I mean? Like that's all I saw was like pillow and sheets.
Now this looks more like the room we had because I remember that big thing right there being in the room.
Yeah, I remember the big wooden deal. But I don't think ours had a TV in it. So
oh wow, ours didn't even have this. This must be a.
This is gonna be a remodel.
No. This is a balcony suite because there's a balcony right there.
Oh
she asked me if we
yeah,
had a balcony. I'm like, no, we didn't have no balcony. But man,
right.
Look at that room there. If that did come,
I was about to ask, did you get us a balcony this year?
Man, so let's think about how
you booked it.
No, I didn't get us a balcony, but just imagine how many people we could get in there, though.
I was about to say, man, like, did you just have like 3 people sleeping out on the balcony, just putting up a tent, just making like a fort on the balcony?
Yeah. Yeah, and there's the lobby. I remember that because they had this upstairs part, which is, if I remember correctly,
that's where you. Yep, you went to do the convention stuff in there, up those stairs.
Don't remember making it to a restaurant.
Go back. That I'm trying to. Yeah, I don't remember that one. Never mind.
I don't remember that either. And there's the kind of the front. That's that glass right there. That is the bar area you were talking about.
Yeah, that's the bar area that has like the aquarium is the bar.
Yeah,
or the bar is the aquarium, I should say.
Yeah, because they're to the right where you go in to check in at, and you park downstairs.
Right. Oh, dude, this was such a sweet spot. Like that's another reason, like why I really want to go a day early. Like I want to get there a day early because like part of it's like okay, setting stuff up, because I'm sure I'm going to be doing a little bit of that this year, and wanting to just kind of like relax for the first day. Like just kind of get in, get some food, get fat, and just enjoy it, man. Like BotCon 2016 was such a fun time. Like it hits my nostalgia super hard. I may just bring my Predicus toys just to relive some of that. You know what I mean? Like I loved it. It was it was too cool. Anyone who was there in 16, man, like I think it's worth it just to make it back, like a phoenix rising from the ashes. You know what I mean?
Oh, Kabar's in the chat. What's up, Kabar? Glad you
made one of my Kabar.
So here's your
man.
bar.
Kabar, go next year and room with us. We'll square you away a bed.
Yeah, we'll for sure put Dalton on the floor now.
Oh my god, poor Dalton. He was on the floor in 16.
He said when I put in the chat, he was like, "Yeah, I would expect to be on the floor." Okay.
Well, yeah, like that's the thing, man. In 16, because the cushions came off for the pullout, like he slept on the cushions between me and Paul. Like Paul's on one bed, I was on the other bed. He slept on the cushions. He slept on the. It's only $20 if it's a derogatory comment. But he slept on the cushions like between our beds. So. but I'm
But yeah,
oh fuck, dude, I'm so looking forward to this. Like, I'm getting so amped, so excited, and like, like Pete's kind of like been giving me little teasers here and there of like what to expect, like what they're like they're kind of like looking into doing, and so, like some of the cool stuff, like I'm just I'm so excited.
yeah. If I remember correctly, when you're looking at this picture here, we were on the right side.
Oh, sweet, Kabar's rooming with us.
He's going to room with us.
Yeah, he just said he's in. Hell yeah.
All right. We might not need Dalton after all.
Oh my god, we're still gonna need Dalton, Mike.
Oh, what's this? What kind of room is that? I don't remember that.
That looks like an exercise room. I bet Brett remembers it because he does that stuff. We don't.
That's where he goes to get his cop sweat on.
Oh my god, that's where he goes to get that. That's where the muss comes from in Mega Muss.
Here's all this fruity shit. I guess this is one of the rooms they have
there.
there.
That looks like the dealer room. That looks like what the dealer room was in 16.
Let's go back and find all my old pictures now.
That is I don't know what that is.
That's not a room we had.
No. That's the room that Savage stayed in. He just had that whole room to himself. He brought his entire G.I. Joe collection from Dallas.
He's like,
set up all of his toys.
I'm playing
and he set up all of his 12-inch Joes, and he was like, "We're shining this weekend, boys." Had him run and shine in that big spot.
So that's all.
So yeah, it's a killer hotel.
Well, if you want to go for a wedding, here's some wedding pictures at the Gaunt.
At the Gaunt or at the Galt?
Gaunt.
It's the Galt.
Who would agree to get their picture taken kissing?
Man, that's some real basic stuff. Come get married at the Galt.
They look so happy. Oh.
Yeah, but that lasted a whole 30 minutes.
Yeah.
And Bride looks thick.
She said, "I do, but I don't do that no more."
But I won't do that. Kabar, yes, this is where the 2016 BotCon was. The same hotel and everything, man. It was extremely awesome. It was like I had a lot of fun at all the ones I went to. Like, 12 was my first one, and it was a bunch of fun. Despite not knowing a whole lot of people, like I made friends super quick, and despite I don't even think I ever saw those two dudes at another BotCon ever again. That I was hanging out with the most, and 14 was a bunch of fun just because like the Universal Studios thing and like literally all the events. Like I came home with like my ankles were as big around as my head. Like I was on them all weekend. I was on my feet all weekend, moving around. Like, gotta get autographs. Now I gotta run to the building that was like, a block and a half away just to get to the panels, right? And then like that was 2014. 2015 was a ton of fun too. Like it was a little more scaled back from 14. But that I think it was in St. Charles, Illinois. That was a blast.
Well, they listed it as Chicago, but it was an hour away from the airport.
Yeah. It was like you can see the skyline, kind of. Like it was more or less like Chicago because of this train that this train rail that attaches to it. But 16, dude, like, despite like there not being, the whole Universal Studios like fan experience and, blah, 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 we weren't in California, blah, blah, blah. 16 really was, I think the best time that I had all around. And everything was smooth, man. I didn't have to stand in 6 different autograph lines. It's like I got all the autographs from all the guests in one shot, first thing Friday morning. Then I got to I got into the dealer room a little bit early because I got my buddy Mike Swage, Real Old Robot, I think is what he goes by online. I got him to get me a dealer badge, and I was like, dude, you want me to help you like load in because of this? He was like, nah, dude. You paid for it, whatever. So I got to like do all of my shopping a little early, and then just doing all the golden ticket stuff. Dude, it was just such a blast.
The best thing for me in 16 was I got to go in early too, but I was a volunteer. So I just got to walk and do whatever I wanted to beforehand.
Yeah, and like the cool thing about being a volunteer is they go ahead and let you square away the exclusives, the souvenirs that you wanted.
Oh yeah, before they sell them to anyone else, and they would do. And if you were even if you were golden ticket, they still let you get your 3 limit as well.
Oh really?
So yeah, so like I was golden, like for a JoeCon, and I was golden ticket. I got my ×3 right then and there.
Nice. Which, I mean, if you're golden ticket, or if you were golden ticket prior to like that Saturday, nothing would sell out anyways. Like they always made, like just enough, right? Like it didn't matter. Like, even if you were like, a golden ticket sells out, right? 100 golden tickets. Even if you're the 100th person in line and everybody bought 3 of each, you still got, whatever you wanted. Nothing sold out until Saturday when they lifted the limits, in which case all pre-registrants had their fair shot at everything. And like, that's, I think that's how it kind of should have been, right?
Yeah. I know at JoeCon, the last couple of years of JoeCon, a couple things sold out before a golden ticket even got through all the way.
No way. But see, that's G.I. Joe. Like Transformers is definitely different.
It was. It definitely was. So I know we're looking forward to it. So now
I'm stupid excited about it. Like I can't wait. And like, there's going to be some cool stuff, doing the lead up. I can't say anything more about it, but there's going to be some cool stuff.
I'm ready for it already. I know we'll make a road trip out of it.
Yeah, dude. Like I'm just like, I want to know, man. Like, like what's the custom class gonna be? Like what? Oh, dude, there's so much. Like I can't wait to find out. And like I can't wait to do. Mm-hmm. And that's something else, man. Like, I know it's a ways out. And registration probably won't go up till next year sometime. I'm sure. Early, probably January, February, something like that. Maybe even March. But like save up, just do the custom class. I totally recommend that.
It's not really that expensive once you register and do the custom class. What were we out? $150?
I think that was between like registration and custom class, maybe. Between the shirt, the badge, the pin, the event stuff, the Keshi, the custom class. I think so. I honestly can't remember what the cost was, but and like this past year they base coded the toy, so you weren't you didn't have to be in that class and right. You didn't have to wait for Sean to load up another paint and the spray gun and do a bait. Like they had all that. So all you did, you got in there and you just painted the details, which is what we did during the BotCon days. Whenever they came out on sprues, and you put them together that way. So it was basically just like the already put together sprue in the colors that it needed to be, and you just painted on the details. So the custom class, like I really do. It's something I enjoy. And if you've never tried like painting an action figure, or maybe you don't think you're a little good at it, like that shouldn't be a deterrent, because like Sean's in there to help you, and there's people that have been doing the class for years that are in there to help you, which is awesome. Like that's something I kind of heartily recommend.
So we will definitely keep up information on it. Oh, Dalton, he's in the chat. Dalton's official. You've been demoted to the floor.
I'm pretty sure he's thinking like, oh, there was a small chance that that wasn't going to happen. He's young, man. Dalton can handle it. Dalton can.
Kamar, look, dude. Dakota lives 3 hours from me.
I live 3 hours from Mike, and Mike lives 9 hours from Louisville.
Well, I actually hold on a second. I checked it again. I am 7 hours and 52 minutes away.
Yeah. So, but between stopping for gas, cigarettes, food, or cigarette breaks, I should say.
It's out the window.
Yeah. Well, I mean, either way, like still stopping for gas and traffic. It's 12 hours for me, and I do the straight shot. Well, what I do, Kabar, is I rent a car. So that way I'm not putting mileage on anything that I own or anything that Mike owns. And those little cars, they get some great fuel efficiency. But if you find someone in your area, Kabar, that wants to go, road trip, like it goes by so much faster with somebody else in the car,
Where does Kabar live at?
I know where he's at, but I don't want to say because of his privacy and all that. Like I know whereabouts, I should say.
Okay, I can't remember. Yeah. Drive. I mean, we drive, 8 hours easily. Me and you do.
Yeah.
As much shit as we shoot and bullshit, them 8 hours go by fast.
We get there super quick, but coming back, it's forever.
Hey, Kabar, you fly into Little Rock. You can ride with us.
Yeah, Kabar road trip. Like we're trying to get so many people to road trip. Like I seriously want Tyler to consider flying into road trip, but
someone else. I won't say his name on. He tagged us on Facebook. He was like, "Road trip, boys." Nope.
I was like I don't know, man, because I'm gonna have to bring some stuff this year, like I did last year. So that space is and last year the car.
No, I was going to say he's probably going to want to do he's probably going to want to be a dealer again. Remember how that was a nightmare? And we were in my SUV that year.
Yeah, there's going to be no way. And I really don't want to pay SUV gas. I'd rather us just split the rental car and split the rental car gas like we did last year. Or this year, rather.
Well, heck, I mean, if just on the sheer fact, if Dalton, who's saying is he'll road trip, and if Kabar even considered it, we would have to get a bigger vehicle for it.
I would have to, which it wouldn't be much more. It wouldn't be much more to rent like a full size sedan, which would be easier to get everyone's stuff in. But like even then, it would be like just all the shit that we'd all end up coming back with. We've got time to wait and consider it. But
you never know who's going to go. Who's going to want a room?
Right.
Yeah, but for real, man. If you want to go, man, definitely room with us, and we'll show you a good time. I know he's actually at TFCon, I believe.
I think he's going tomorrow because he lives pretty close to the area. I think he said it's like an hour away from him.
Oh, okay. I thought he was there already.
Well, he may be. I don't know if he went just to see what things were like tonight, like before the convention or whatever. But
yeah,
I know he's going tomorrow for for the show and stuff like that. So
cool. So, all right, well, man, we're going to jump off here for the night. I appreciate everyone who chimed in, people who watched, people who will watch later on. Hopefully, people do watch. Feel free to like and subscribe, and to share the Galactic Gumbo with your friends. Try to get as many viewers as we possibly can, with us just being really the two of us now. But
you're really pimping us out strong here.
I got to, man. I mean, the old crew just doesn't want to do it no more. I don't believe it. Drives me crazy.
Dude, reach out to some other friends.
Oh gosh. Oh
my God, Mike. Woe is me. Oh, woe is angry Mike. Who can say where the road goes? Do what?
Fuck you, Dalton. All the people who chimed in, all two of them.
That's funny.
You're in the tub now.
He put him in the tub. I think that shower was a glass with like a magnetized door on it. If I can't remember what that. I think I'm pretty sure it was. I'm pretty sure it was glass, and you stood around it.
All right, well, cool. Tell people where you can find you to go.
Primal Sabbath. I'm always carrying that MF thing. You feel me?
I don't understand what he's talking about, but anyways. But y'all can find me everywhere as Angry Mike or The Angry Mike now. So thanks for tuning in, and we'll be back next week.